Welcome to Nasdaq Trade Talks. I'm Jill Malandrino, Global Markets Reporter at Nasdaq. Joining me is Kinahan, Chief Market Strategist at TD Ameritrade, to discuss retail trading trends based on the IMX reading for March. The IMX is TD Ameritrade's proprietary behavior-based index aggregating Main Street investor positions and activity to measure what investors actually were doing and how they were positioned in the markets. it's great to see you as always, and looks like investors were continuing to put more money into the market.
Yeah, absolutely. First of all, thanks for having me, Jill. Always great to be on with you. Yes, for the third month in a row, Jill, our clients came and were buyers of stocks. It really has been 2021 is a year of a lot of confidence in people in terms of the market overall. We're seeing it as you and I speak in terms of what we're seeing in the rally in the market. I think, the fact of stimulus checks, et cetera, people just have a lot of confidence. You and I have talked a lot in the past about this dichotomy between stocks and the economy. Well, I think what you're seeing right now is as we start to open up more businesses, perhaps the economy catching up to stocks.
And it's so interesting. Who would have thought where we were a year ago that we'd be having the conversation around S&P 500, 4,000 really is quite remarkable how the market has recovered. And what's also interesting to me is, in March, they were buying the stocks that they were selling in January and February.
Yeah, the one exception being Apple. Apple's been pretty consistent all year long in terms of people wanting to own it. But exactly that, some of the chip stocks that people weren't as confident in as the year started, all of a sudden have come back into favor, looking pretty good overall. So I think that that's pretty interesting. One that we hadn't seen, and you and I talk every single month about this, a name we haven't discussed in at least a year, Walmart. As Walmart hit a 6-month low, we saw our clients come in and buy that one. Not normally a sexy stock, not normally one people get excited about. But again, seeing what happened to it in March, let our client base come in and really want to own it.
And they were selling, of course, as well. GameStop made that. So it looks like TD Ameritrade clients are taking advantage of the volatility in that stock as well.
Well, in March, the stock went over 200. We saw a period there in the middle of the month where it rallied nicely. And I think our clients were anxious to take some profits once they had that opportunity. As you mentioned, obviously a lot's been written about the volatility that's existed there. And so with that, clients saw an opportunity to take some profits. And then, of course, the other one that led the way was Facebook. And Facebook has always a lot of drama, I guess they'd be a nice soap opera. Always a lot of drama around Facebook. And so I think with some of that, our clients decided to take some profits there also.
And with your longer term outlook here, it looks like there's some light at the end of the tunnel with vaccinations being rolled out on a consistent basis. In fact, the schedule's performing a little bit ahead of schedule, which is a great thing. So it seems as if investors are really going to be focused on getting that unemployment number down, thinking about inflation, thinking about rising interest rates. What are you paying attention to?
Well, the employment report we saw last Friday was absolutely amazing overall. The one area I paid a lot of attention to was construction, because after last month's number where we saw construction down because February was so cold throughout the United States, we saw those workers hired back and then some, which was absolutely awesome. To see, though, normally I'm not one that loves to see restaurant and bar jobs sort of created, hospitality, because often they're not careers. Amazing to see how many were created. And we should be really excited about that because it gives people a sense of normalcy. I think we're going to continue to see the struggle going forward, Jill, between where do I go next for the investor? In other words, these stay-at-home stocks, if you will, many of them still have a nice opportunity to hold on to clients, but we're looking for that reopening trade. And I think what's really going to happen now as we head to the earnings season is many of those stocks that were bought for the reopening trade are going to have to live up to their expectations. I don't think there's going to be a lot of forgiveness if you miss earnings in this quarter.
Yeah, I agree with you, I think it's going to be one of the more interesting quarters for earnings. Great to see you as always. Thanks for joining us on Trade Talks, and thanks for joining me. I'm Jill Malandrino, Global Markets Reporter at Nasdaq.